This is It Was a Thing on TV.
Total Red Man has ever done something like this to me!
It's, time!
Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the dregs of humanity!
Minisode 8, submission number 2033, Wheel of Fortune, the 1952 edition. Wheel of Fortune aired on CBS from October 3rd, 1952 to December 25th, 1953 in the daytime, and in prime time from July 7th, 1953 to September 15th, 1953. Okay, so when you think of Wheel of Fortune as a game show, what do you think of? You think of a wheel, a game board, big money prizes, and Pat and Vanna, or Chuck and Susan. Hell, I'll even throw in Rolf Benirschka and Bob Goen.
Or if you're even more insane, David Sidoni and Cyber Lucy.
Oh, God.
Please.
I'm being triggered. Greg is triggering me. But one thing you probably won't think of would be Hal Sims, Todd Russell, and Good Samaritans?
What?
True story. This Wheel of Fortune that aired in the 50s on CBS in both daytime and primetime iterations was hosted by Todd Russell. And what he would do is spend the half hour rewarding people who have done good deeds by having their stories told on national television and then allowing them to spin the Wheel of Fortune for a prize. Occasionally, that prize could get up to $1,000. How about that, huh?
$1,000 in 1952 money.
Yeah, that was some good money. Not that I think any of us would pass up $1,000 in 2021 money.
I wouldn't say no to $1,000. Would you say no to $1,000?
No.
I wouldn't sneeze at it. Nope.
So it was basically Queen for a day with a wheel. And that was the show. And as short of a run as it had in the US, believe it or not, it ran longer in Australia, of all places, where it was hosted by, are you ready for this? Reg Grundy.
Whoa!
But yeah, this was like one of those feel-good shows of the 50s, of a bygone era. Like, okay, here's your story on national television, and now you're finally going to get your just due by the spin of this wheel. And I actually have a picture of the Wheel of Fortune here. I'll tell you right now, you could win as little as 300 and as much as 1,000. And then there's a secondary spoke of the wheel where I guess you have to answer a trivia question or 2 or 3 or 4 out of 2, 3, or 4 chances. It's pretty interesting stuff. It really is. But what do you guys think?
Well, considering we don't really have any footage of this version.
Yeah, all of this information comes secondhand because one of the practices of the early 50s was, are you ready for this? The entire series was wiped.
Oh, yeah.
Because it was practice at the time to wipe an entire series. You know, reuse the tapes, as it were.
Yeah, they did that for decades, up until pretty much like the late 70s, early 80s.
Yeah, when they started to understand the value of this stuff.
And a bit of how this game actually worked. Thanks to our friends at the US Game Shows Wiki at fandom.com. Like we said before, to be eligible as on this show, you have to have done a good deed. Heroes, good Samaritans, other benefactors, you would be awarded based on what you spun on the Wheel of Fortune, and the people you helped could join you as guests. And in the daytime version, the wheel was spun to determine a cash amount, and the number of questions needed to be answered correctly to win that amount. On the primetime version, the wheel was spun to determine the nature of the reward that the benefactor would receive. Like, if the wheel landed on the lucky section, the contestant was given the chance to win a $1,000 bonus by correctly answering a jackpot question. Meanwhile, the beneficiary received a gold watch on both versions. And fun fact, the model on this show, Betsy Palmer. And Mike and I have actually met Betsy Palmer. She was a very nice lady.
Absolutely.
And by the way, for those of you who might not know, Betsy Palmer is also Jason Voorhees' mother.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, she is.
And like we said at the top, the theme song was sung by K-Star, and it actually ran for 22 weeks on the Billboard Hot 100 from March 14th to May 9th at number 1.
Hi, Mike here. You didn't hear the song at the start. I made an executive decision that it's possible that maybe we might get a strike on YouTube, and I don't want to put us in that situation. But she did have that song.
But 2 subsequent versions did not fare as lucky. Bobby Wade recorded one, peaking at number 13, and Eddie Wilcox recorded one, peaking at number 14. So you can't do better than the K-Star version. You really can't. But it didn't really do well in primetime because it was up against a show that we had already discussed on this podcast, Break the Bank.
Oh yeah, the 50s version of Break the Bank.
Mm-hmm. And on daytime was a little better, but it was up against Glamour Girl on NBC and Ding Dong School
Ding Dong School.
Yeah, that's the name of the show. Ding Dong.
Hey, you're laughing, Greg. Believe it or not, while doing research in the episode from earlier this week on Winx Interactive Games, one of the questions had to deal with, this is a shuffle question, had to deal with the ages of, the lengths of time TV shows ran. And
one of them was Ding Dong School.
The 4 answers were Ding Dong School, Howdy Doody, Sesame Street, and Captain Kangaroo.
My God.
What was the question?
How long, which one ran the longest? And again, remember, this is in 1994.
Okay, so that would be Captain Kangaroo.
That would be Captain Kangaroo in 1994.
Now, of course, if you were to ask that in 2021, the answer would be
Sesame Street.
By a mile.
Right. And the thing is, yeah, in 1994, it was Captain Kangaroo, then Sesame Street, 29 and 25 years. And now we're at like 52 years of Sesame Street, and Captain Kangaroo would still be at 29. And then Howdy Doody was 13 years, and Ding Dong School was actually 6 years. So for a show that Greg laughed at, it actually ran for like 6 years.
Yep.
Well, is there anything else we need to say about the Wheel of Fortune from the 1950s?
All I can say is Wheel of Fortune from the 1950s. The Wheel of Fortune from the 70s onwards is a force in prime access and one of the most popular game shows ever to be created. But Wheel of Fortune from 1952, it was just a thing on TV.
Yep. So that's going to do it for this minisode, and we'll see you back here with more episodes real soon.